So they're just coming around onto the grid now, and the guys at the start are going to be waiting quite a while here to get going. It's very, very slow as it comes around. Very slow. Just looking at the comments. Yeah, thumbs up. Here we go, looking for a good race. BMW 525i. Nice car. Still lining up. They're still lining up. Getting ready to go here. The lights are coming on. Off we go. It looks like a good start for Bottas. Slow start there for Verstappen. Leclerc's got a great start. Is he up into second? Perez has had a nice start. Gasly falling down. Oh no, Gasly and Alonso have touched. Alonso has been spun around. Oh no. Alonso, we thought he was in with a chance to win this race potentially. Lewis is behind Vettel at the moment. So it's Bottas in the lead at the moment, and then we have Verstappen in second, Leclerc in third, Perez in fourth place. Ricciardo going around the outside of Sainz by the look of it, so they're having their own battle at the back there. Ricciardo, of course, had a grid penalty. He only qualified in 16th place, so I think he took that on without any issue whatsoever. Nice opportunity for him, considering the bad qualifying that he had. We have a yellow flag out in Sector 2. What's going on there? Sector 2 and 3. Trouble all over the circuit at the moment. Where is Hamilton now? Hamilton's up into 10th place at the moment. And Yuki Tsunoda is ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Oh, Sainz has gotten past Ricciardo. Sonoda and Hamilton are battling away here. Hamilton would want to be very careful. I don't think Sonoda is a driver you want to go up against in the wet, the rookie. He's had a great start though, a really, really good start. Sonoda, that is. Hamilton is in 9th now, so he's up 2 places from where he started. Verstappen dropping away from Bottas as well. We're only on the second lap and there's 1.5 seconds in it. 1.6. So that gap is getting bigger as we speak. Leclerc, he's 1.3 seconds behind Verstappen. He's not really in the mix now. Here goes Hamilton trying to get past Sonoda. He's trying around the outside. No, not working for him this time. I think Hamilton gets the message. He needs to be very, very careful. Verstappen is getting out of Bottas' spray. He's trying to see where he's going here. There's a lot of spray coming off the back of the cars right now. A lot. Perez is up into 4th. Gasly has he dropped into 5th? Yeah, Gasly has dropped to 5th. Norris is in 6th. Stroll is in 7th. Sonoda 8th. Hamilton 9th. And Vettel is in 10th place. And let's have a look down the order to see where everyone else is. Sainz is in 16th. Ricciardo is in 17th. Mick Schumacher has dropped down into second last place. And it looks like Latifi is running at the back. Here we are on board now with Fernando Alonso for the start. He had a good start, so he got past Gasly here. He keeps it around the outside as much as possible, and Gasly just comes along and tags the back of him. Oh yes, Alonso says, what a stupid guy, Gasly. Now they on board with Gasly, so let's see it from his perspective. There are always two sides to these stories, of course. Yeah, heavy car. Can't do anything about that on a wet surface. He couldn't take the corner any sharper, and unfortunately he caught Alonso. Gasly is at fault here. Gasly is at a fault. Gasly claims he got sandwiched. I'm not so sure he did get sandwiched. I think he just ran wide. Stu, welcome to the stream. How are you today? This is the onboard with Bottas for his start. Very clean start. Got away nicely. Didn't have too much trouble there. And the one big difference between Bottas and everybody else is he has a clear track in front of him. Oh no. Alonso, it looks like he hit one of the Haas cars. And there's Latifi, got spun around as well. Did somebody hit him, or did he lose it on the curb? Hard to see, hard to tell. Verstappen team radio. Ooh, gear shift issues. Now, here's an under investigation. Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly under investigation. That's not a surprise. I think Gasly will be found guilty, but they might just say it's a racing incident. So that was Verstappen that was on the radio there, and he is saying he's having gear shift issues. Where is his nemesis, Lewis Hamilton, at the moment? Still in 9th place. So he's still just under a second behind Sonoda. He can't get past. He can't get past. I wonder what's going on there. He has to be very careful, of course. There is the Red Bull rivalry as well. Of course, AlphaTauri, or whatever they're called these days. Yeah, it's AlphaTauri. They are the sister team to Red Bull. Gasly is currently in 5th place. Alonso is in 17th. So Alonso suffered big time because of that spin that he had. Now, Mick Schumacher is just over a second behind his teammate. No love lost between those two. I wonder how that one will play out. Okay, tyre overheating is an issue we're hearing as well. There's Sainz. He is behind Russell. Russell has the Merc engine, so he'll be quite fast at certain parts, but I don't think that Williams has the aero to match the Ferrari. In saying that, though, rain is the great equalizer. That's what they always say. And he's trying around the outside. I don't think that's going to work. And he has the inside for the next corner. So Sainz gets past Russell. That was a really nice move. And now it's up to Ricciardo to try and get it done. We're switching over to the battle between Hamilton and Sonoda. Hamilton still can't get past. Sonoda is placing his car in just the right place. Look at the spray coming off the back of the car. You can really see the aerodynamics there. Now Hamilton, will he try it around the outside? No, he can't get close enough. He's still just behind Sonoda. Of course, in front of Sonoda, he has Stroll ahead of him, and then Norris just ahead of him. And then we have a gap all the way between Gasly and Norris. And let me see on the timing screen what that gap is. It's about 5 seconds at the moment. So that's a big gap, actually, at this early stage in the race. Quite a big gap at this early stage. Schumacher and Alonso. So it was Schumacher and Alonso that came together, and those guys are under investigation as well. Alonso has had a lot of incidents at the start. This has not suited him at all, at all. Now, we're on board with Sainz. Sainz is important. So Sainz is the guy who's making all the moves at the moment. And if Hamilton's not careful, Sainz is going to be catching up with him in a while. 10 second, there's a 10-second gap, a 9-second gap between Sainz and Hamilton. But if Hamilton stays stuck behind Sonoda and Sainz keep making this progress, and he's gone past another one, he's gotten past Raikkonen. He's cutting through the field really fast here. This is impressive from Sainz. Leclerc is only 4 seconds behind Verstappen, and he has 1.7 seconds to spare then with Perez. So he's not under too much pressure from Perez at the moment. So relatively comfortable for Leclerc in third place. Be great to see Leclerc win the race, by the way. Big Leclerc fan here. Ricciardo as well. But Ricciardo, he's not going to be winning the race as it stands at the moment, but never say never in wet conditions. You just don't know what can happen. One safety car at the right time can really turn things around, and then you have idiotic moves from other people, like going into the pit lane when there's a red light, not naming any names. That gave us the biggest upset win of all last season when Pierre Gasly won the Italian Grand Prix, of course. As it stands at the moment, Verstappen would retake the lead of the championship. But it's really early days to be saying that, especially considering Verstappen is apparently having gearbox issues right now. And Hamilton, he hasn't made the move on Sonoda yet, but I'm sure he'll get there. And this is actually where the race director is focusing in on again. Now, he looks really close here. Is he actually going to go for the move? Oh, he's getting very, very close to the back of Sonoda's car there. But yeah, he's dinking from side to side, trying to find an opportunity to get past. It's not working for him. It's just not working for him. We know that Merc is not great in dirty air and with these wet conditions as well. Now, is he going to make the move down the inside here into the first corner? No, he can't get it done again. He looked really close there. I thought he was going for it. I think he was going for it, but he just couldn't get the speed. So he's struggling, but he's hustling very hard now to get this move done. And there, now he's going down the outside. He's got it done. He's got it done. Hamilton is past Sonoda. That was a really nice move, and he kept the pressure on for as long as was needed there. Didn't see a mistake from Sonoda, but Hamilton got the move done. Really good work from him. Really good work there. Thanks to everybody who's joining us, by the way. Let me know in the chat who you think is going to win the race. Also, where are you joining from? I'm very curious about that. And who are your allegiances with? Who are you going for? Who do you think is going to win? And who do you want to see win the race? I think those are two very separate questions. We need a strong result from Verstappen for the championship, in my opinion. Hamilton needs to get into the mix a little bit more. Now he's... Oh, time penalty coming up here. Pierre Gasly, 5-second time penalty. As it stands at the moment, he has a 6-second gap with Norris, so Norris wouldn't get past Gasly. Now, Hamilton is going to try and get past Stroll, but directly up the road from Stroll then, we have Norris. Raison G Cham. Sorry if that's not how to say your username. You're going for Lewis. Okay, well, you're going for Lewis, or you think Lewis is going to win? I'm going to assume it's both here. Lewis is on the move now. He's putting a lot of pressure on Lance Stroll here, and he's got the move done. He's through. And now he has Norris up next. Now, he struggled to get past Norris in the last race. Can he do it here? Now, what's that gap? He is about, it's just under 2 seconds up the road now to get to Norris. This is some pressure Norris is not going to want. Oh, and Carlos Sainz is on the move as well, so let's see who he's getting past. And it's Ocon. Really nice move. It's crazy. Sainz has made up so many positions. So he started in last place and he's now up into 11th. Another time penalty coming up on the screen. Alonso gets a 5-second time penalty, so I can only assume that time penalty is for the collision he had with Mick Schumacher, and he really compromised Mick Schumacher's race there. Because, of course, the Haas is a slow car. We all know that. It's the slowest car on the grid. And he was starting in 14th or something like that, and it was a wet circuit, so this was his opportunity to actually do something. And along comes Fernando Alonso and says, I do not like you, Mr. Schumacher. Off you go. Down to the back. So Gasly gets a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision with Alonso, and Alonso in turn gets a 5-second penalty for causing a collision with Mick Schumacher. Bottas complaining there are no dry patches on the track yet. Alright, that's interesting. Big thing I'm wondering right now, how are these tyres faring? How fast are these intermediate tyres going to burn up here? We're only on lap 10, by the way, so they shouldn't be gone yet. Verstappen 2.4 seconds behind Bottas at the moment. So he is struggling to get up to Bottas. I don't think he's even pushing to get past Bottas. He'll happily take second place as long as Hamilton stays behind him. That would be the smart thing to do. And who knows what will happen with Bottas later on. The pit strategy is going to be a major factor also. Now, who are we looking at here? So this is Hamilton. Yeah, Hamilton has closed in on Norris now. Oh, how long can Lando hold off Lewis for? Sonoda did a great job holding off Lewis, by the way. He held him off for, it must be 8 laps. Oh, there goes Lewis down the inside. Oh, that was an easy move for him. Very easy, and he's up. He's up into 6th place, so he's on the move. And he is now 17 seconds behind Max Verstappen. It's on. It's on. Here comes Lewis. Next for Lewis is Pierre Gasly. And he just sets the fastest lap of the race. That's Lewis Hamilton, not Pierre Gasly. And Gasly, of course, has a 5-second time penalty, which I think he'll probably take as a part of his pit stop when he does pit. Okay. Well, Bottas will be dreading getting the call to say Lewis is coming. Let him through. We're not there yet, though. We're not there yet. Let's see. Tough cars ahead. Perez and Verstappen and Leclerc. I think those are all going to make it very, very difficult for Hamilton if he does manage to close in on them. What are Hamilton's tyres looking like at the moment as well, with all this overtaking and close racing that he's been doing? I'm sure it hasn't caused a protective effect on the tyres, at least. Degradation must be high. Alright, we're on board here with Verstappen. It's very leisurely looking driving going on here. He can see Bottas ahead of him, but he's not within range where the spray from Bottas is causing him issue, or where the dirty air is causing him an issue. It's 2.5 seconds right now between the pair of them, so it's relatively stable. I wonder if Verstappen has got more speed in the car if he needs it, if he's just maintaining that gap, or if this is it. This is the max he can do. No pun intended, but as soon as I said it, or as soon as I thought it, I was like, huh, let's go with it. Let's go with it. Fastest lap coming up here for Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, confirmed again. Sainz now 1 second behind Vettel, and this will be for 10th place. So this is the battle they're showing us at the moment. He's having such a great race. He's just carving his way through the field. Hamilton has made great progress as well since he got past Sonoda, so it's all working really well for Hamilton. He's 3.6 seconds behind Gasly. Yep. And he's just set the fastest lap of the race as well, Hamilton, so he's got the speed. He's got the speed. He needs to get it done. He knows it. This is damage limitation here. Okay, so at the moment, in 20th, we have Mick Schumacher. He's 2 seconds down the road from his teammate Nikita Mazepin, who's in 19th and 18th. We have Latifi. 17th is Alonso. 16th is Ricciardo. Very disappointed Ricciardo has not been able to make any progress there at all. We have George Russell then in 15th. He has a 2-second gap on Ricciardo. Raikkonen is in 14th. Giovinazzi is in 13th. Ocon is in 12th. Sainz now in 11th, but putting the pressure on Vettel for 10th place. Then a further 2 seconds up the road from those two guys is Sonoda. We have Lance Stroll, then another 2 seconds. 2 seconds seems to be the magic number at the moment, just to stay out of the spray coming from behind the cars. So Stroll is in 8th, Norris is in 7th, Hamilton 6th, Gasly 5th, Perez 4th, Leclerc in 3rd, Verstappen 2nd, 3.4 seconds behind Bottas, who's winning the race as anticipated. Hamilton is on the radio. His tyres are wearing down, he says. Now, we all know Lewis Hamilton, so that means he's probably going to set a few more blistering laps after this. Someday he's going to come on the radio and he's going to have a genuine tyre concern, and nobody's going to believe him. Nobody at all. Here goes Sainz again. He's on the move. Oh no! Has he made contact? We're on board with Sainz, so we can't really see what happened there, but it looked like there was a jolt as he went past. Here, we're getting the replay now. Let's see. So he's closing. Yeah, he's got great cornering speed. Brakes late. Goes around. Oh! It's Sainz runs wide and makes contact with Vettel. Yeah, Vettel, you can't argue. He gave him 2 or 3 cars width of space there. That was Sainz's fault. I hope he doesn't get a penalty for this because he's making great progress. It wasn't a significant hit on Vettel. I don't think there should be any damage there. It didn't push him off track or anything else like that. It was a robust shoulder, let's put it that way. I'd be worried he might get a penalty for that. I have my concerns about this. How is the weather doing? Let's have a look in on the weather. I actually prepared this earlier so that we can check in on the weather. 16 degrees at the moment. Chance of rain. 9% they say chance of rain. It's a very wet track right now. Hamilton is getting past Gasly as we speak. Nice move. He goes to the outside, cuts to the inside as soon as he gets past him through the corner. Very nice move there from Hamilton. Made it look easy, and he has 8 seconds now up the road to Perez. Well, it's just under 8 seconds. So coming back to the weather, you can see there the predictions for the weather. Not a lot is going to change between now and the end of the race, as you can see, but I think that's interesting that they say 9% chance of rain. Humidity, of course, 100%. You can see that. You don't need a graphic to tell you that. You can see that with your own eyes. Oh, sorry, I got rid of the timing by accident. There we go now. We're back on track. Speaking of the track, out there now we have Bottas in first, Verstappen in second, Leclerc is in third, Perez fourth, and Hamilton now in fifth. And 6.7 seconds now is the gap between Perez and Hamilton. So Perez, Hamilton is coming for you. Now, let's see what that contract of yours is worth. What kind of team orders do you have from Red Bull? How hard are you going to make this? Because if it comes down to that, Sonoda did a great job and he'll be right up there in the good books. Gasly, he didn't put up too much of a fight. Not too much of a fight at all. That'll be disappointing for Red Bull. Now, surprisingly, so we're 15 laps into this race. No safety cars. no significant crashes, I would say. We've had some contact. Of course, we had Alonso and Gasly earlier in the race. Then we had Alonso and Mick Schumacher. Latifi seemed to get spun around as well, but I'm still not sure if he was touched by somebody or if he just lost it on the curb. And we had just a lap ago, we had Sainz and Vettel, with Sainz oversteering into the corner as he was overtaking and making contact with the side. It looked to be okay. We haven't seen any notice about them being investigated yet. We're back on board now with Sainz. What a crazy race he's having. So he had Sonoda next up for him, and Sainz is trying his very, very best here to make it count. Hamilton is saying the right side of the tyre is getting a little bit bald. Okay, well, he's still pumping in the fast laps. Yeah, so as these tyres get warmer and warmer, I guess the baldness would equate to them becoming slick tyres, and that's not really what you want on a wet surface, that's for certain. But he seems to be controlling it really, really well, and there's been no sign of anybody pitting just yet. And what the pit stop strategy is going to be now, I have no idea. The one thing I do know is these guys, they have limited tyres, so they can't be stopping 3 or 4 times during this race. Yeah, they're on the radio now to Gasly, telling him that Lewis Hamilton has big damage on his front right tyre. Now, I wouldn't call it damage exactly, it's a lot of wear, and we've just had a shot of it there, so there are definitely bald patches on his tyre. I'd like to see some other cars' tyres, though. I haven't been looking, I must admit. I haven't really been paying that much attention to all of the tyres. We're on board again with not Norris, sorry. Norris's best friend, Carlos Sainz. And trying to figure out his tyre. So he's trying very hard to get past Sonoda here. Sonoda has made himself a goddamn headache today for a lot of drivers. Really good driving from Sonoda. It looks fairly clean as well. Now I know I've totally jinxed it by saying that, but it never looked like he was going to take Hamilton out of the race when Hamilton was trying to get past him. So Sonoda is making himself a bit of a headache for anyone trying to get past him. A solid race from him, and he's in the points. He's in the points, which is good. He's going to drop down to 10th though if Sainz gets past him here. Sainz has done such a great job now of rescuing this. I keep going on about it. Sainz, he's due. He's overdue probably at this stage, that first race win as well. I would have loved to have seen Sainz racing in the Red Bull alongside Max Verstappen. Those two were so even when they were driving at AlphaTauri. Fastest lap for Max Verstappen. Oh, so here we go. Maybe this is the time. So Max, I can picture all the TikTok memes now where they have the Max Verstappen theme tune playing. Max, Super Max. He's 3 seconds behind Bottas, so let's not get too carried away. And Sainz gets a really nice clean move done on Sonoda, and he's up into 9th place. 6 seconds now between Sainz and Stroll, so that's the next guy he's going to be after. And look at that, we're looking at the straight, you can actually see each other. So that 6 seconds won't seem that far from him when you can see the other car. Yeah, replay of the move there, really nice, easy move down the inside. He doesn't run wide and wipe out Sonoda, which is good. So Sainz has at least learned a little bit from his last move there. That's the way he needs to keep it. I keep forgetting. So Bottas is the race leader, and that's the one graphic I constantly keep forgetting to change that when somebody else takes the lead of the race. I haven't had to change it today so far. So far, so good. But it wouldn't be uncommon now for the leaderboard to show Lewis Hamilton and for me to leave Bottas up for another 25 laps. So do let me know if I do that. But look, Bottas, he seems stable. 3 seconds back to Verstappen. Verstappen just set he's just set the fastest sector 2, so he's trying hard here. Bottas sets the fastest lap. Speak of the devil. Yeah, there's Bottas. And will Verstappen hit straight back with the fastest lap? No, it doesn't look like he has. Oh, it looked really weird there. I thought Perez was slowing down for a second. I was actually worried it was Verstappen, believe it or not. Yeah, there's Hamilton. He's closing in on Perez. Perez is going to have, speaking of headaches, and Sonoda being a headache, Perez is going to have a Hamilton-sized headache coming his way very, very soon. He needs to do the team game. Getting so confused here. They keep switching between them. Okay, now we're back on board looking at, we're not on board, we're off board looking at Bottas. And there is Verstappen behind him. Verstappen has cut that to 2.5 seconds now, even though Bottas set the fastest lap last lap. So he's had a really scruffy lap this lap for whatever reason. For whatever reason at all. Oh, we're looking at it now. Oh yeah, he runs wide and he loses the back of the car a little bit. So he has to put in a bit of opposite lock there just to stop himself from spinning. So that is the reason for that. And yeah, Verstappen closes the gap a little bit. So it's 2.4 seconds now. It's been a fairly good race so far. Nothing too dramatic has been happening. Hamilton and Sainz have been keeping us amused with all of their overtakes. If it wasn't for those two guys, it would be fairly plain running so far. Plain sailing. Not too much going on there. Okay. Yeah, they're just showing the pit wall there for Merck. They're on the radio to somebody, but that somebody was called Ricky, so I have no idea who that is. It's not Ricky Hamilton or Ricky Bottas driving the cars, so I don't know how much that matters to us as viewers. 4.2 seconds now between Hamilton and Perez. Leclerc is he's within view of Verstappen as well. So Leclerc is, let me see, 2.6 seconds behind Verstappen, and Verstappen is 2.6 seconds behind Bottas. So pretty even pegging there between the top three in terms of gaps. Got to do it gradually, says Jensen Button. Yes, I agree. All right, who are we looking at here? This must be Esteban Ocon. It is Ocon in 12th place, and he is getting interested in getting past Sebastian Vettel. Of course, both of them had a great fight at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Vettel, unfortunately, got disqualified from the Hungarian Grand Prix. It still hurts. I have to say, it still hurts. Now we're on board with Ocon. He's still a good deal behind Vettel, so nothing too exciting happening here unless he's going to pull off a really, really late braking maneuver. Not too much to worry about. Fastest lap for Lewis Hamilton again. So those balding tires aren't hindering him too much, it would appear. Either Vettel, it looked like actually it was Vettel was getting off the racing line there to cool down his tires. Smart move there from Vettel. I should say. I pronounce it properly in German. I probably still didn't pronounce it right, to be honest. 3.3 seconds between Hamilton and Perez now. 21 laps in, no sign of anybody pitting yet. So we believe that we have these weather conditions until the end of the race. Okay, that's fine. It means they're going back onto inters when they pit again. And that's what it means. So are we by default now working our way into a one-stop race? It looks like it. Lap 21, so 58 lap race. Will be 26, 27, 28, 29. Yeah, lap 29 will be halfway point. Hamilton will be within striking distance of Perez in 4 laps time, according to the graphic we have on the screen at the moment. Overtake difficulty is considered medium. There you go. They're asking Ricciardo how much faster could you be on a new set of Inter tyres. As you would expect, Ricciardo is saying quite a bit faster, but Ricciardo is only stuck down there in 16th. He has not been able to make any grounds on George Russell whatsoever. Very disappointing from him. This circuit does not suit the McLaren. It's just blatantly obvious, unfortunately. Norris is languishing in 7th place, so it's a good haul of points, but you know, they're nowhere near being in the mix. And Norris is going to have trouble from Sainz come the end of this race. That's the way it looks. And speaking of Ricciardo, into the pits he comes now. So this must be for his set of intermediate tires. New intermediate. Fresh rubber. Here he is. He's into the box nicely. Yeah, it's intermediate tires definitely going on there. Green mark. Off he goes. Nice pit stop. No issues. 2.8 seconds. Nicely done. Ricciardo, yeah, it looks like he's going to come back out in 18th place. You can see both of the Haas cars in the background. And by the way, there are 0.7 seconds now between Mick Schumacher and Mazepin. So it's on. Those two guys are going to be battling each other again very, very soon. We never really see the action between them, but we always hear about it after the race. And really, they don't like each other. They do not like each other at all. And you know what? I worry that Mick Schumacher won't be in the Haas car next season because of that. Oh, we have a yellow flag in second. Oh, it's Sonoda. He's gone for a bit of a spin out there. And he's lost a few places, so he was doing so well to be in the points, and now he's blown it. Oh, that is unfortunate. Let's not forget, this is the surrogate Japanese Grand Prix we're having today. Of course, the Japanese Grand Prix was supposed to be on, got cancelled because of COVID, and the Turkish Grand Prix was added to the calendar in its place. And that's why we're seeing the Red Bull cars driving in the white livery, because it's supposed to represent Honda's last race at the Japanese Grand Prix. It's actually in Turkey. So there you go. Little bit of trivia for you. Then again, I know absolutely everybody who's interested in Formula 1 and is watching the race already knows that, so probably no point telling you that. Now, Lance Stroll, yeah, he's been hunted down by Carlos Sainz. Sainz needs to get this job done. Oh, it's the Sainz versus Norris battle that's coming up later on in the race. I feel like this is coming, unless something goes dramatically wrong in the pit stops for either of those cars. But that's going to be the battle of all battles. Well, not the battle of all battles. We potentially have Hamilton versus Verstappen coming up later on as well. Let's see, it's just over 2 seconds now, the gap between Perez and Hamilton. And Charles Leclerc has just set the fastest lap. Nice. The Ferrari has looked fairly decent this weekend. You know, when we look at the battle between Ferrari and McLaren this season, that it's such a tight battle between those two. Really and truly, it is it fluctuates between both of them. So this is not a good weekend for McLaren, but it looks like it's a very good weekend for Ferrari, and vice versa. We've seen that fluctuate. So this is an intriguing battle. Now, Ricciardo is struggling on his intermediate tires, so they were just on the radio to tell Leclerc that. What does that mean? Is somebody going to attempt the slicks? You know who we need out there. We need Jenson Button on the track. Think of Canada 2011. I guess I must mention Canada 2011 in every single race that I do, because for me it's just one of the ultimate races. Certainly every time we're talking about Wales. Okay. Sorry, yes, I just broke my thought there. So Bottas is coming around now to lap the Haas cars, and Mazepin and Schumacher are in the midst of a battle at the moment. Schumacher gets out of the way, so he lets Bottas through. Mazepin needs to return the favour now. It's really hurt the battle though, and here comes Verstappen as well. There must be, let's see, it's not showing on my timing at the moment. I would guess it's about a 2 second gap now between Schumacher and Mazepin as a result of those guys being backmarkers, not as a result of backmarkers, but yeah, here comes the train now. So we have Verstappen coming up behind Schumacher next, and Leclerc has really closed in on Verstappen as well. What's that gap standing at now? They're telling me it's 1.6 seconds. Yeah, you could see it definitely look closer. More rain on turn 9, they're telling Gasly. So maybe switching onto slicks is not the way to go here if there's more rain falling. More rain. Let's have a look at the weather. Back, I think. Network issues on my side, unfortunately. So we are back just as Mazepin has made things hard for Hamilton. Gosh, he nearly took him out there. Nearly cut his nose off. Definitely held up Hamilton. He definitely held up Hamilton. Bottas, it's a 4-second lead he has over Verstappen at the moment as well, and then it's 2.3 seconds back to Leclerc. Now, Perez and Hamilton, that's the one we need to look at. Yeah, it's 2 seconds now, and that is courtesy of Nikita Mazepin getting in the way, and I dare say some kind of penalty in the works for Nikita Mazepin. Congratulations, Nikita. You've done it again. You've done it again. Now, nobody else has really pitted yet. It's just Daniel Ricciardo that has pitted so far. And you'd have to wonder how much trouble he's going to be in come the end of the race now, because he pitted so early. Everybody seems to be lining themselves up for the one-stopper, I would say. Oh yeah, they just showed us the onboard there of Hamilton and Mazepin. Mazepin making a right nuisance out of himself. What you know? What's you? What's you? Mazepin is still running in wet conditions and hasn't spun his car. So he's not fully true to character at the moment. Mick Schumacher hopefully can get back to chasing down Mazepin now. Where are those guys on the circuit? I need to look at the tracker to figure this one out. Look in a second. Where are they on the tracker? I can't see the tracker. It's too small for me. So I don't have the luxury of a full screen display here, unfortunately. I cannot find them. How strange. I cannot find the Haas cars on the tracker. So they should be grey. I don't see them. I don't see them at all. Okay, look. They're running pretty close to each other. There's about a second between them at the moment. I can see that on the timing. I can't find them on the lap tracker. Who cares? Who cares? As long as they don't take anybody out of the race. Oh, apart from each other. This is Vettel and Ocon. Woo! Whoa, there was a sudden move from Vettel across the track. And he cuts back in front of him again. A bit of a trend there, doing the same thing over and over again. Now, we're in desperate need of a little bit of action in this race, by the way. So it's kind of petered out over the last few laps. Not too much going on. We're waiting patiently for the pit stops to start. As I was saying, 29 laps is kind of halfway point in the race. I wonder, are there people just waiting now to see if the track gets a little bit drier and so they can go onto the slicks? Those infamous slicks that I had mentioned earlier. Ted Kravitz, he is speculating right now as to who would go onto the slick tires. So he's in tune with my thinking here. He thinks Alonso could be the man to do it. So where's Alonso? He's down in 16th. Yeah, Alonso could be the man to do it. And Latifi probably doesn't have too much to lose if he does it either. And Ricciardo is so firmly out of play at the moment. He's 2 seconds behind Latifi down in 18th place. Those new tires have not helped him at all. So there's a lesson there, I guess, for the other drivers as well, that these fresh rubber don't necessarily give you what you need here. Let me get my microphone right. Get that all figured out. I, of course, had to shove it all out of the way when I had my network issues. Real pain in the backside. Now, it's Alonso's in. He's taking his time penalty and he's coming out on the green rimmed tyres. So he hasn't gone for the slicks. He is sticking with the intermediates, and that will potentially be his last stop before the end of the race. So one stopper. Hamilton now is really closing in on Perez. What's that gap? Let's see. The gap is 0.8 of a second. This is really close. Really close. A bit close. Perez. Now, let's see what you're made of. Come on. You have not been an impressive Red Buller for a while. It's been a long time since we've seen an impressive second Red Bull driver. Probably going all the way back to Daniel Ricciardo. Can you believe it? Bottas says his rears are getting a little bit snappy. I don't think he's anything to worry about. He's 4.6 seconds now ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen has stopped pumping in their really fast laps. Leclerc still holds the fastest lap, by the way, so nobody has beaten that since he put it in. Leclerc is 1.9 seconds behind Verstappen, so actually Leclerc could be getting more interested in Verstappen rather than Verstappen is in Bottas. Stranger things have happened. Here we go now. Yeah, Hamilton's really getting very, very close on Perez. Very close indeed. Hamilton is 0.2 of a second, well, almost 0.3 of a second faster than Perez on the last lap. Oh, Sainz is on the radio saying it's raining. It's raining. Is it time for another weather report? Well, let's check in on the weather. I'll tell you now. There we go. So it's still 17 degrees, it's still 9% chance of rain, and it's still 94% humidity. So this is the weather report brought to you by Winning Formula. Nothing has changed. But Sainz says it's raining. It would really spice things up if it did start to rain a little bit heavier. What if we had to make the switch to full wet tyres? Now that would be quite the interesting conclusion to the race. Or let's go even more exciting than that. What would happen if they had to transition to full wets and then the racetrack dried up and they had to go back to inters, but it dried up in such a way that it was borderline between inters and slicks. Sounds a little bit like the Russian Grand Prix actually, so maybe we don't want to repeat that narrative. Didn't work out so well for poor Lando Norris. Still so disappointed about that. So two things really burn from this season. Firstly, Sebastian Vettel getting disqualified from the Hungarian Grand Prix. Oh, look at that. Perez is going out into the wet. Yeah. Smart. Hamilton can't close in on him. The other thing that really stings from this season, of course, is the Lando Norris performance from the last race. And if you're Lando Norris, I think probably one other thing that would stick with you is that you screwed up qualifying at the Belgian Grand Prix, because we all saw the way that race turned out. A good qualifying position equals a good finishing position. Now, Daniel Ricciardo has finally made some progress. He's gotten past Nicholas Latifi, so he's moved up into 16th place. And guess who he has up next? Yup, George Russell. What's the gap? Ricciardo is 8 seconds behind Russell, but let's not forget, Russell has not pitted. So actually, whilst I may be complaining a lot that Ricciardo, he's so far down, he's out of the points, he's going to make up a lot of positions here when the rest of these guys pit. Yeah, I can see all the way up to 11th place potentially. He'll benefit. Here goes Hamilton down the inside of Perez. Outside, I should say. He tries it. Perez has the inside line. Hamilton looks like he's got the inside line now to the next corner. They come quite close. Oh, he pushes Perez almost into the pit lane. Perez still has the inside going into the next corner. They're side by side. They're side by side going into the following corner. Down to the first corner now. Hamilton is trying to pull away so that he pulls into the lead. Perez is sticking it on the inside and he's keeping it. He's keeping it. Perez has kept the position. Really well battled there from Perez. Hamilton shouldn't have pushed Perez into the pit lane, by the way. Perez got out just in time, but I wonder if there'll be trouble for crossing the white line. Not if you're Lando Norris, though. But Lando Norris is not involved in the battle here. And as we heard, Fernando Alonso quite cynically saying during the press coverage before this race, let's see what happens the next time a driver who's not British crosses the white line. And Perez is not British the last time I checked. Hamilton is, though, and Hamilton pushed him, so... by the way, this battle is still ongoing, so Hamilton is still on the tail of Perez and he's going to try again the first opportunity he gets here. But this was a little bit of excitement. This was the excitement that we needed. I said we needed a bit more excitement because there wasn't too much happening in this race up to this point for a good few laps now. Norris is in 9th place. Tire age 0 laps. Oh, Norris has pitted. Norris has pitted. I completely missed that. He had a 23.2 second pit stop. So 23 seconds, I think that's a nice gauge to have actually when you're looking at how many places Ricciardo could make up as well. Latifi's in the pits now as well. Almost 6 seconds between Bottas and Verstappen, by the way, just to check in on the lead. And here goes Hamilton now. Can Hamilton get the move done on Perez? We're coming down the start-finish straight here. No, he's just not close enough. I was wondering if he was just going to cut to the inside there. Oh, Hamilton is going to get frustrated now. Maybe this is the time where Hamilton needs to take a pit stop. I don't know about the power of the undercut or the overcut at all during this race. We haven't, we don't really have enough data points to figure that one out. Hamilton was passed. He was true here. He was true. But he left the inside open. Perez takes the inside, as he's entitled to do. You have to leave a car's width. Let's not forget that. Yes, Perez gets pushed into the pit lane and has to cut back across not just the white line, but the blue paint as well. So he goes through the inside of the cone that's there. So that would be illegal on any given circumstances, but he was definitely pushed by Hamilton. I think that's mitigating circumstances. I would be very disappointed if Perez gets a penalty for that. Verstappen has been told to come into the pits, so we are going to be on the lookout for that now. So he will pit ahead of Bottas, unless Bottas comes in the exact same time. So now it started to hot up. It started to hot up at long last. Here he is. Bottas didn't pit. Verstappen is in and he will be changing onto... Yes, he's changed onto the green tire, so those are the intermediates. Again, that looked like a really fast stop. 2.1 seconds. Amazing, amazing. Given the new regulations that we have around pit stops, what an amazing stop that was. Really, really good. So he gets in and out and done. Leclerc is up into second, but we see the Ferrari mechanics out on the pit road now. It's Sainz. Sainz is into the pits. Sainz has had a great race so far. He started in 20th, of course. He's up into 8th place. I dare say he's going to lose a couple of positions now just as they net out. Yeah, just as I say that, that's Norris and... one of the back markers have gone past. Now... blue flag being waved here in the pit lane. That's a strange one. Where did he come back out? Sainz is out behind Ocon. And yeah, here's Hamilton and Perez battle ongoing. Now we're looking at Vettel coming back out of the pits. Oh my god, he's on the yellow tires. Vettel has gone onto the slicks. He's really struggling coming out of the pits, but there won't be a lot of drying there. And that's Bottas as well. Bottas has just pitted. And did Leclerc pit? No, Leclerc didn't pit. So Bottas is not in the lead at the moment. Charles Leclerc is winning the race. Here's Perez. Perez has pitted, so that releases Hamilton. Off he goes. Very nice stop again. 2.5 seconds. Not quite as fast as Max Verstappen's, but it's a nice stop. Who's coming in next now? Where does Perez net out? I think he's probably going to get out ahead of Stroll. Oh, Vettel is run off the track. He's really struggling with these tyres. That was not the best decision. Oh, he's struggling big time. This was not a good decision. No, he's on the radio. He's admitted it's not working. Oh, he can't even put his foot down. It's that bad. Oh my god, but that was a really, really bad decision. Oh, he's lost so much time here. He's lost so much time. Everybody is driving past Vettel at the moment. And we're just seeing a replay here of him. I guess it's when he drove off track. He lost control. Oh yeah, he can't control it. Yeah, it's not even aquaplaning. There just isn't the grip there on these tires for him to have that bite, to have that traction with the ground. And it hasn't worked for him. And here's Vettel back into the pits to change off of these dry tires. The experiment doesn't work, unfortunately, and he's lost quite a bit of time. He hasn't just lost one pit stop. He has lost a lot of lap time out there because he struggled. He struggled to even stay on the track. Everybody drove past him. So this is a disaster for Vettel, and we see him down in 18th place. So he's, oh, Mick Schumacher has gone past him, so he's in 19th now. Alright, let's check back in and see where everybody is. Very strange, by the way, that, whoa, Vettel loses it on the way into the pits as well. He didn't touch the wall, so he didn't do a Lewis Hamilton on it. Yeah, that's how little grip he had there. Almost like a power slide. Lovely car control. But once again, it slowed him down even more, so it just didn't help his race in any way whatsoever. Here's Charles Leclerc. He's winning the race. He doesn't pit this time through either. Why did Perez pit when he did pit? That's the question. Why did Perez pit? What advantage can he hope to gain there? He was holding up Lewis Hamilton, and now he's just let Lewis Hamilton after Max Verstappen. There's 2.6 seconds between Verstappen and Hamilton. Now, Hamilton hasn't pitted yet. Verstappen has pitted. That's the big differentiator here. But it's weird. It's weird. Why would you do this? I don't think that was a good strategy from Red Bull. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong on this. Just, I don't know. Okay, that was Gasly who stopped. 9.2 seconds. That probably incorporates. Unfortunately, I wasn't looking, but 9.2 seconds. That would incorporate his 5-second stop-go penalty as well, I guess. Well, it's a time penalty. It's not a stop and go. All right, now the overhead shot. There's Fernando Alonso. There's Gasly. We need to look for Gasly being sandwiched. He wasn't really sandwiched. He wasn't sandwiched. Like, Perez was on the inside, but he had a lot of space. It's a weak argument, and he was penalised for it. So I think that was quite right. And Alonso unfortunately did something similar then to Mick Schumacher when he got his car facing in the right direction. We're looking at Charles Leclerc again, and no, not pitting this time round, and he is Kimi Raikkonen for company there, but Kimi Raikkonen of course is a lap down. Wow. Charles Leclerc wants to stay on the same set of tyres until the end of the race. Is that even possible? I think in wet conditions it's probably legal. it's probably legal. We don't have the rule where you need to change the compound in a wet race, because of course, if that rule was in play, Sebastian Vettel is technically the only driver that drove onto a different compound tyre. So the different compound tyre doesn't count here. How interesting. 5 seconds gap now between Leclerc and Bottas. What kind of a difference does the fresh intermediate tyre make for Bottas? Let's have a look at this over the next few laps and see how fast he closes down Leclerc, if he is even closing him down. Hamilton also hasn't pitted, by the way, so if he's to take the Leclerc route here, he's legitimately going to be battling with Verstappen very, very soon with his fresher rubber, so that also needs to be a factor here. There is Lewis Hamilton we're just looking at now. Is it Lewis Hamilton? Where's the number on that car? Yes, it is Hamilton. And he doesn't pit this time around. Hamilton, Perez. How far behind Hamilton is Perez? 14 seconds. Perez. Okay, Hamilton has been told to box. Oh, Hamilton has refused to pit. He says no, he doesn't think a new inter is the way to go. So he's going to stick with it for a while. Now, bear in mind, this was Lewis Hamilton who was on the radio around lap 15 saying that his tyres were bald and he was really struggling. And here we are on lap 42 and he doesn't want to box for fresh intermediate tyres. I tell you, when Hamilton comes on the radio and starts complaining about his tyres, I am not listening. I'm not listening. It's never true. Those Mercedes mechanics look very confused, just carrying around the tyres there with the tyre warmers on them. They're not really sure what they're doing with them. Hamilton team radio again. Hamilton on the radio again saying to stay out. They say, oh, okay, we'll stay out for one more lap. Maybe this is going to be a lap by lap evaluation. That may be the way they have to treat this. So Leclerc and Bottas, 4.7 seconds now is the gap. So it's come down about 1 second since we checked in about 2 laps ago. I don't know. I don't fancy Leclerc's chances of holding onto that lead if Bottas does get up to him. And Verstappen now. Verstappen 7 seconds ahead of Hamilton. So the fresher rubber is definitely helping both Bottas and Verstappen in that regard. And it's 4 seconds now between Bottas and Verstappen. So Verstappen has never really made much of a dent into the Bottas lead so far in this race. Now we're back looking at Carlos Sainz, and Carlos Sainz is just up behind Esteban. Leclerc ran a little bit wide just going into that corner there. What is that gap at now? It's 2.8 seconds now between Leclerc and Bottas. Bottas is getting closer and closer to Leclerc. So is Leclerc in it for the win, or is he in it for second place potentially, is what he'll be looking at. We've 13 laps to go, by the way, so not too far to go in the race at the moment. Now it's down to 0.9 of a second. Alright, ask a stupid question, get a stupid response. So Leclerc has asked his team on the radio, if we can keep it at this pace, what position will we net out in? And they said, well, if you can keep Bottas behind you, it'll be in first place. Well, that's kind of Captain Obvious, I suppose. Is Hamilton coming though? Is Hamilton chasing? That is the big question. Where is Hamilton at the moment? Let's have a look. Hamilton is in 4th place still. And he is about 10, 12, yeah, he's about 12 seconds down the road from the lead. hasn't taken a pit stop either. He's probably lapping a very similar time frame to Leclerc. Let's see, sector 1:35.7, Hamilton 35.3. A bit faster even than Leclerc for Hamilton, but he'll never be able to make up that gap in 13 laps as it stands right now. And do you want to pit with 13 laps left to go? You've come this far. Now, coming down the start-finish straight, can Bottas do anything here to get into the lead? He's close, but no, he doesn't make a move yet. He will have adequate opportunity, you feel, in the coming up laps, or even in this next lap. He's very, very close now. It's 0.5 of a second between these two guys. Well, depending on which screen I look at, one screen is saying 0.5 and one is saying 0.3. It's very close. It's very, very close. Anytime it comes under 1 second, you know it's close. We haven't had to worry about DRS at all in this race because, of course, with the wet conditions, DRS has been disabled. Now, on board with Sainz as well. He's getting close to Ocon. 0.3 of a second between those two. Is he going to pull the move down here into the corner? No, he can't. He's not close enough. He's really riding on the curb there. I would be worried about that in these damp conditions. And Leclerc and Bottas continue to battle here. Leclerc is holding on to the lead for now. Well, Leclerc knows this is it. He knows he can win the race if he holds off Bottas. Now, he has to hold him off for another 12 or 13 laps. That's not an easy ask. Leclerc is not stopping yet. So a lot of conversation now between Leclerc and his team as to whether or not he should stop, and what happens if he does stop, and what lap he can do. Here goes Bottas down the inside. He's trying. He just doesn't seem to have enough speed, but he brakes later. He's got the inside. He's got the move done. Bottas is into the lead of the race. It was a nice move from Bottas. Nice move. Now, so Leclerc has 5 seconds back to Verstappen. This is a bit of a blow for Verstappen if Leclerc decides to stay out, so he'll have to chase him down. Hamilton wondering if the tyres can last to the end of the race. It's such a gamble. How much could these tyres fall away before the end? We haven't really seen any cars drive an entire race without pitting. So at the moment it's Ocon and Hamilton and Leclerc. They're the only 3 cars that have not pitted for new tyres. So it really is going into unknown territory here. This is a big gamble. A big gamble for these guys. I don't know. Oh, look at that. There is Max Verstappen. We have not seen much of Max Verstappen today. He's closed in on Charles Leclerc big time here. He's really closed that gap on Charles Leclerc. So I think this is it. I think Leclerc is going to come into the pits this time around, because Lewis Hamilton is not too far behind now. I was saying there was no way Lewis Hamilton would catch Leclerc before the end of this race. I'm completely wrong. Hamilton is theoretically, let's see, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He was somewhere around 7 seconds, but it doesn't matter now. Leclerc has come into the pits. He's in, and let's hope he can have a nice clean stop. I don't think I trust this Ferrari pit crew so much. So far, so good. Don't stop. All the tires are on there. 3.1 seconds. Not super fast, but not too slow either. Could have been worse. Just happy to get him out with that. Alright, so Bottas leads, Verstappen's in second, and Hamilton now is in third place, and he is hoping to finish the race on these tyres. Such a big gamble though, such a big gamble. What if the tyres explode on the last lap, Lewis? This is a big gamble. It really is. He could take a handful of points, guaranteed handful of points, or he could risk it and take even more points. It's a gamble. That's what it is. How is the weather looking? Let's go back on Weather Watch and see where we are at the moment. 17 degrees, 9% chance of rain, and 94% humidity. So it's basically the exact same as when we checked the last 2 or 3 times. Not much changing there. So it doesn't look like we're going to have any surprise rain by the end of the race. That's a shame. That could really spice things up before we get there. 10 laps to go now. Well, 10 and a half laps to go. Hamilton is 5 seconds behind Verstappen, and Leclerc, who has the fresh tyres, is 11 seconds behind Hamilton. Perez is 1.2 seconds behind Leclerc, so Perez can come into the mix here. But what I want to see now, I want to see Leclerc chase down Lewis Hamilton. It's so rare that another car would chase down Lewis Hamilton. Usually Hamilton does all the chasing, so this is really a new one for us. Now let's see what Leclerc can do with these fresh tyres. What's going on at the back of the grid? Mazepin is 4 seconds behind Mick Schumacher, so Schumacher did get past Mazepin. We didn't see that. I can only assume it was a clean move. I'm sure we'll hear about it all after the race. Vettel is in 18th. So he got back past Mick Schumacher. He's 2 seconds ahead of Mick Schumacher, and then he has 29 seconds to go to Latifi, so he's far back. Sainz has just set the fastest lap of the race. He's 14 seconds behind Norris. Don't think he's going to be catching Norris, but if he keeps pumping in the fastest laps, he might. You'd never know. So Latifi's in 17th, Alonso's in 16th, Russell is in 15th, Sonoda's in 14th, Raikkonen 13th, Giovinazzi is in 12th, Ricciardo is in 11th, so he's very close to the points. I'll come back and check on Ricciardo to see how many seconds gap he has to Stroll, who's in 10th, Ocon in 9th, Sainz is in 8th, Norris 7th, Gasly 6th, Perez 5th, Leclerc 4th, Hamilton 3rd, Verstappen 2nd, and Bottas is in 1st place. So it's only Hamilton and Ocon that have not pitted so far in this race. Everybody else has pitted, and unfortunately, as we know, Sebastian Vettel has pitted twice. Yeah, Hamilton says he's sliding around on the tyres, but he's okay with that. So Leclerc is about a second a lap faster, they're saying. Before I check that out, let's look in on Ricciardo and Stroll. So Ricciardo is 1.4 seconds behind Lance Stroll, and then they have another 4 seconds back up to Ocon. So they could be closing in on Ocon at quite a rate. Ocon's last lap was a 136.2, 135.2 for Stroll, a 135.0 for Ricciardo. So yeah, they're nearly a second a lap faster than Ocon. So trouble before the end for Ocon. Oh, Ricciardo says his rears are hanging on by a thread. So he's he was the first guy to pit. Let's not forget that. Now my thought process. So Sainz has just set another fastest lap, so he is closing that gap on Norris. It's down to 12.9 seconds now. Here come Mercedes out on the pit lane. So Hamilton's in. Hamilton is in, so he's going to play it safe. Okay, so they're worried about the gap with Gasly. That means Hamilton needs to chase down Perez again before the end of the race, if I'm to believe what they're saying there. Off we go again. So Hamilton, nice stop, 2.3 seconds. That's pretty fast. The fastest we've seen today has been 2.1 seconds for Max Verstappen. There he goes. Yeah, he's comfortably out ahead of Gasly. And so what is his gap then with Perez? It's 6 seconds. So he has 6 seconds to make up in 7 laps. That's I don't know if Hamilton will be able to do that, because let's not forget, he doesn't just have to close down that gap. He also has to do the overtaking, which is easier said than done sometimes. Leclerc, I was going to say he's in a solid 3rd place. He's got a 1 second gap. Well, it's under 1 second. It's 0.8 of a second now with Perez. I think Perez is going to get him here. These two guys, they had quite the battle earlier in the season. I remember penalties being thrown around for running people off the track and not leaving a car's width. So will we see that again? Now we're on board with Perez. He's gone very close here. He's going to try the move around the outside. Yeah, he's pulled the move. Can he make it work here? Brakes late. It looks like he's got the move done. He's got the inside line coming into the next corner as well. So he's definitely ahead of Leclerc. Leclerc is trying to fight back here. But no, Perez has got the move done. So Perez is up into third place. And this is what we needed to see from Sergio Perez in this race. We need to capitalize. By we, Red Bull, need to capitalize. I'm not affiliated with Red Bull, by the way. I'm actually drinking Monster, which I think is Mercedes. Hamilton is complaining about why they gave up the space, and I don't know. So we only have Esteban Ocon to look at now as being the marker for how successful that one stop, or that not one stop, that zero stop strategy would be. Perez, yeah, he was strong there. He got the move done, and it's unfortunate for Charles Leclerc. He's on fresh rubber now, but the Red Bull is just in a better place at the moment than the Ferrari, and clearly the conditions suiting the Red Bull a little bit more, as you would expect, following the rhythm of the season so far. Now, entertain me. Last 5 laps. Let's have some good entertainment here. Bottas, yeah, he has 7 seconds over Verstappen. So all going well, Bottas should get the win. The question is, will this be his last win? Or will he get himself back in a winning position again? Because you know if Hamilton's in second place, Bottas will be told to slow down and let him past. That's thankfully not the issue at the moment, because Hamilton's in 5th place. Hamilton now is he's 1 second behind Leclerc, so he caught up to Leclerc really fast there. What's Ricciardo doing and Stroll? So Stroll now is 1 second behind Ocon, and Ricciardo has fallen away from Stroll. He's 5 seconds behind him. So I don't think Ricciardo's going to get any points here. .04 seconds. It's just fallen under 1 second now between Leclerc and Hamilton, and Perez is about 5 seconds up the road then from Hamilton with 5 laps to go. So Hamilton will attempt to get past Leclerc here, and then attempt to catch Perez. I don't think he's going to catch Perez. Oh, Hamilton is not happy. He is not happy at all. Yeah, just listening there. So he's complaining a lot. He claims they shouldn't have come in, and he's now saying that the set of tires he has had massive graining. Regardless, though, he is still going faster than Leclerc, and he will try to get this move done. And Ocon still hasn't pitted, and he probably won't pit at this stage. Just as I say that, Lance Stroll gets the move done on Ocon, so Lance Stroll is up into 9th place, outperforming Vettel again in this race. But of course Vettel tried, he gambled, he tried the dry tires, just didn't work out. It's worth a shot, I suppose. Let's have a look at the top 10 then. So we have Ocon in 10th, Stroll in 9th, Sainz in 8th, Norris in 7th, Gasly in 6th, Hamilton in 5th, Leclerc 4th, Perez 3rd, Verstappen 2nd, and Bottas is leading. Well, it's been a very interesting race, I have to say. I don't think it was as exciting as the last time out. Well, it was definitely not as exciting as the last time out. Pit stops weren't terribly interesting either. Hamilton now. Oh, Hamilton is really annoyed. Really annoyed. So, Gasly is closing on Hamilton. Oh no, I was not on the lookout for that. So Gasly has closed right up to Hamilton. It's under a second. And that's what they told him on the team radio. And Hamilton is not happy. Hamilton is peed off about all of this. He is convinced they should have stayed out. Really, really convinced. It's so hard to say. It's so hard to say. Now, I said let's look at Ocon. Ocon is still going without pitting. So it looks like it was possible to stay out. So, what did you think of the race? Are you happy to see Bottas win? I think I'm okay with it. He deserves it. He's a nice guy, and this is potentially his last big opportunity to win a race as well. Alfa Romeo probably won't be winning races next season. I know with the new regulations it's virtually impossible to tell, but once again, you know, the talk is about everybody having the best car next year. Absolutely everybody. And unless Alfa Romeo pull off something special like Braun GP did back in 2009, or the blown diffuser or something like that, you know, when Red Bull did that, then I don't think they're going to be winning races next season. But, you know, happy to be proved wrong. And also, very interested to see who's going to be the teammate next season to Valtteri Bottas. That still hasn't been confirmed. Giovinazzi has been trying hard to get himself into the equation to stay with the team, but he's not scoring points at the moment. He's running in 12th right now. He's about 1.4 seconds ahead of his teammate Kimi Räikkönen. But there's a lot of talks, of course, about Andretti taking over the team. Andretti, of course, as we know, they have a Formula E team as well, so they're looking at taking over the Alfa Romeo team if the rumors are to be believed, and most likely we could see the introduction of a driver from the US as a result of that. Herta maybe is in the mix. Exciting young driver. Bottas has just set the fastest lap, so that's one additional point for him, assuming nobody else sets the fastest lap before the end of the race. Verstappen should get on that. He should try and get the fastest lap, and that will be one additional point. The points are going to be so critical. Can you believe there are 2 points going into this final race between Hamilton and Verstappen? So critical, absolutely critical now for Mercedes that Bottas has taken that fastest lap, and of course for the Constructors' Championship as well, when you consider that Perez and Verstappen are both running ahead of Hamilton as well at the moment. Gasly, it doesn't look like he's getting past Hamilton anytime soon. 1.3 seconds now. He hasn't really pulled a move yet on Hamilton, so Hamilton is okay with that. And just before this race ends, by the way, let me just remind you, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and you can also hit the bell if you want to be notified of future videos and future race watch-alongs. And I nearly always forget to say it, but I really do appreciate the support that you give to the channel as well. So yeah, don't hesitate to show the love, and thanks very much for watching along, and leave us some comments as well. What did you think of this race? What do you think of Hamilton's chances of winning an 8th world title? We're on the final lap, by the way. That came around fast, actually. I was thinking we had a couple of more laps left, but we're on the final lap now. 10 seconds gap between Bottas and Verstappen, so I think we can safely say that Bottas is more than likely going to win this race. And 19 seconds then between, 11, oh my god, I'm losing my mind. I should have held it for one more lap, that would have been good. 19 seconds then back between Verstappen and Perez. Leclerc has 3 seconds to Perez, he's not going to catch him. and Hamilton then is 5 seconds back, and then about 2 seconds between Hamilton and Gasly, so Gasly won't get Hamilton, and I think that's the way it's going to play out now. Norris is in 7th, Sainz is in 8th, Stroll is in 9th, Ocon is in 10th, and Ricciardo's dropped to 13th, so that puts Giovinazzi in 11th, Raikkonen in 12th, Ricciardo is in 13th. Very, very disappointing from him. Sonoda's in 14th. Equally disappointing for Sonoda because he put himself in contention for a points finish before he had that little spin. Alonso's in 16th. Also incredibly disappointing for him. Oh, by the way, I've completely skipped over Russell. Russell's in 15th. He's been solid. He hasn't made up positions. He hasn't lost positions. A bit of a no-show race for him by his standards. Here comes Valtteri Bottas. By the way, he comes around and he wins the Turkish Grand Prix. So Mercedes has won the Turkish Grand Prix as expected, as anticipated, and that's a very good result for Valtteri Bottas. Congratulations to him. He wins the race. I'm very happy for Valtteri Bottas. He's the man. He's the man. He's done it. Valtteri Bottas wins the Turkish Grand Prix 2021. There you can see it on the screen. Max Verstappen comes home in 2nd place. Valtteri Bottas has just set the fastest lap again, so he beats his own fastest lap, by the way, so there's no doubt about that unless Hamilton can get the fastest lap. I guess he should be pushing for this. Perez gets 3rd place. He's also on the podium. Charles Leclerc is confirmed in 4th place, and here comes Hamilton. Can he do the fastest lap? No, he doesn't get the fastest lap. Bottas keeps the fastest lap. Norris is in 7th. Sainz, he's the man that could get the fastest lap. He doesn't. He's in 8th. Just waiting for Stroll to come around and confirm 9th place. Ocon is already confirmed in 10th place because he's been lapped. Stroll hasn't come through yet, so it's weird. Everybody is classified as finished at the moment apart from Stroll, who's in 9th place, but that will be coming in due course. Just looking at the comments, Poco Euro, I probably am not saying your username correctly. Finland, smiley faces. Yeah, congratulations, Finland. Another Finnish winner. Bottas, Raikkonen, Mika Hakkinen. Yeah, some great drivers from Finland. And of course, let's not forget Mika Salo. Almost won a race for Ferrari back in the day, but he had to hand that over to Eddie Irvine. And Alonso Saavedra, Mexico. Yeah, come on, Sergio Perez. Nice result for Perez. He started in 6th, of course. I was very disappointed with his qualifying, but he gets it on the podium, and those are good points for Red Bull. They needed that. They really, really needed that. Good result for Perez as well, just to justify his contract for next year with Red Bull. And speaking of Perez, where did Gasly finish up? He finished up in 6th behind Hamilton. Yeah, let me do a run through then of the final position. So in 20th we have Mazepin, 19th Schumacher, 18th Vettel, 17th is Latifi, 16th Alonso, 15th we have Russell, 14th Sonoda, 13th Ricciardo, 12th Raikkonen, 11th Giovinazzi. Then into the points positions. In 10th place we had Ocon, and Ocon finished the race without making any pit stops, so very impressive from him. Stroll is in 9th, Sainz is in 8th, Norris is in 7th, Gasly is in 6th, Hamilton is in 5th, Charles Leclerc is in 4th, Perez is in 3rd, Verstappen 2nd, and Bottas is the winner. Sean Barrow, South Africa. Yep, well, come on, South Africa. We don't have a South African driver on the grid, I don't think. I don't think so. Please correct me if I'm wrong there. We may have some driver that is a descendant of South Africa. All right, Sergio Marcolino. How are the constructor standings now with these results? Well, I don't know the exact points at the moment, but I can tell you Mercedes are still in 1st place and Red Bull are still in 2nd place. The big question for me is what's happening with 3rd place? Where are Ferrari and where are McLaren? Because of course Norris finished in 7th, Ricciardo finished in 13th, so he didn't get any points. Now let's see if I can get this name right. Mitsubishi Ndebele. Oh, sorry about that. They should have let Hamilton finish without that stop. Yeah, well, that's what Hamilton believes, and based on the Ocon example, I tend to agree with that. I think Hamilton, I think he could have gotten 3rd. I wouldn't be surprised. I do think he could have gotten 3rd if he had stayed out there. he had good speed on those tyres, and it sounds like by Hamilton's self-admission that the second set of tyres he got were not as good as the first set. He had graining. But you know, Lewis Hamilton complaining about tyres is quite common, and usually means nothing at all apart from he likes the tyres. So I don't know. But yeah, curious now to see what the championship looks like. So Max Verstappen will have retaken the lead in the championship, and I don't know how many points he has. I want to see a breakdown of that. Richard, that wasn't calculated. It wasn't. Well, if you're talking about the Lewis Hamilton stop, I don't think it was well calculated by Mercedes. I really think Mercedes panicked, wanted to make sure that they got some points rather than to have a blowout of tyres before the end of the race. So that's most likely what it came down to, playing the safer strategy there. There you go. So it's all over. David Coulthard is going to be interviewing the drivers. I don't know if I'm going to listen to those at the moment, because when I'm talking, I'm not listening. I feel like I'm back at school, really. So Bottas wins. Congratulations, Valtteri Bottas. Great win, great victory for him. He looks happy, fairly happy. Oh, Bottas won't ever bowl you away with joy, but he looks fairly happy, and he has every right to be. He was allowed to race his own race today, and he showed what he could do. Very impressive qualifying yesterday from him. We shouldn't forget that even though Hamilton had the engine penalty, Bottas did beat him in qualifying and did qualify on pole position. Sorry, no, did he? No, he probably didn't beat him. Oh, I can't remember. I need to go back to the Formula 1 website and check that. Regardless, Bottas controlled the race from the start today. He was good, cool, calm, collected, got the job done. Verstappen couldn't keep with him. Verstappen was pretty anonymous for most of the race today as well. He didn't have too much trouble from anybody, but he certainly wasn't giving Bottas a problem. Anyhow, that brings us up to the end, I think, of this stream. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Really enjoyed having you watch along with me, like your support. Really love getting your comments. Adrian, yes, you just got in before the end, so just joining now. The race is over, I presume, so that means that it is showing the final standings. Yes, you are correct, Adrian. The race has ended. Valtteri Bottas has won, Verstappen gets second, and as you can see, Lewis Hamilton has come home in 5th place. So that puts Verstappen back on top. Matulushi, Hamilton got pole yesterday. Thank you. Yes, thank you for confirming that. So it was Hamilton got pole. So Bottas didn't beat him yesterday. Okay, so I can't give that moral victory from yesterday to Valtteri Bottas, but you know, he got the victory today, so he can take all the moral victories he wants. He can take the victory. He's got it all. So congrats again to Valtteri. I don't know if we're going to see Valtteri Bottas win another race this season. I hope we will. But as I said, if Hamilton is there or thereabouts, they're going to ask him to hand over the position because it's just that tight in the championship right now. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. It was not the most exciting race I've ever seen. I expected more, actually, from a wet race. But, you know, we had some entertainment. We had a very impressive race from Carlos Sainz cutting his way through the field. Hamilton also made some very good moves through the field. Arguably should have finished better than 5th place if he had stayed out. It was a gamble though, and you can understand why Mercedes probably didn't want to take the risk. And that's about it. Okay, speak to you very, very soon.